Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a genuinely fascinating relationship. The one between the sounds we hear, phenomena like ASMR, and the very real biochemistry that governs our mood. We're going to unpack how your brain actually processes all that auditory information, and we'll look at exactly why certain sounds can make us feel so incredibly relaxed, focused, or just downright uplifted.
So picture this. You've had a long day, you pop in your earbuds to escape a loud, stressful commute, or you blast your absolute favorite song to hype yourself up. We've all been there, right? And it begs the question, can sound literally instantly change your brain chemistry? It's a highly searched question, and honestly, it completely validates our human desire for a quick, accessible mood fix. We all want a simple button we can press to just feel better. But as you might guess, the scientific reality is a bit more nuanced than a simple yes or no.
I mean, you've definitely seen these buzzwords all over the internet. Titles like serotonin frequency, dopamine music, or videos promising an instant mood boost. They get millions and millions of views. And the idea is undeniably attractive, right? Just press play and your brain chemistry instantly optimizes itself. Boom, done. But these claims set up a pretty major conflict between viral internet trends and actual rigorous science.
Now, what's really interesting here is the massive disconnect. The internet claim is so appealing that sound is just this biological happiness button that mainlines serotonin right into your brain. But in reality, the biological picture is far more complex and, honestly, far more interesting. You see, the brain doesn't treat any sound as just neutral background noise. Instead, sound carries heavy layers of meaning, memory, rhythm, social information, and vital cues about safety and threat. When we look at how sound actually impacts our biology, it's a massive, multi-system event. For example, a favorite song lifts your mood because it activates your memory, your prediction systems, and your movement systems all at the exact same time. A calm, familiar voice can physically soften your arousal because human voices carry social safety cues that our brains are quite literally hardwired to detect. Sound changes our breathing, it directs our attention, it triggers reward prediction. It's like a giant biological cascade, not just a single isolated chemical reaction.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Brain Chemistry Demystified, or, as I like to call it, the orchestra of neurotransmitters.
Let's start with the most famous one of all, serotonin. Now, while it is absolutely a crucial part of mood regulation that helps stabilize our overall well-being, it is definitely not a simple, universal happiness button that gets flipped by a single audio frequency. Those claims you see about instant serotonin release from a specific sound wave, yeah, they are scientifically inaccurate. Next up, dopamine. This one gets mislabeled all the time as just the pleasure chemical. Actually, scratch that. It's way more about your brain's reward, motivation, and prediction systems. So when you're listening to music or ASMR and you're anticipating a really satisfying sound or a beat drop, it's your dopamine system driving that expectation and then rewarding you when the sound perfectly aligns with what your brain predicted.
Then we have endorphins. Think of these as chemicals intimately related to our physical and emotional sensory experiences. They're heavily involved in pleasure and modulating pain. They essentially act as natural painkillers and mood elevators, often released during stress or discomfort, but also during highly rewarding sensory experiences.
And finally, there's oxytocin, a hormone and neurotransmitter deeply tied to bonding, safety, and social comfort. When we listen to soft-spoken ASMR, or just a gentle, comforting human voice, our brain interprets those as cues of close, safe social contact. That engages the oxytocin system, making us feel accompanied and secure. And the coolest part? None of these chemicals act alone. They're an entirely interconnected system.
To see how this chemistry actually translates to our physical experience, we can look at a landmark 2018 study by Poyerio and colleagues on ASMR. When ASMR improves your mood, it's not because a magic sound frequency bypassed everything else to inject serotonin. No, it happens in steps. First, the sounds are calm and predictable. Because of that, the listener feels safe. Then, attention narrows, breathing softens, and finally, the physical body exits that state of urgency or stress. That physical shift in your nervous system, that is what actually supports a better mood.
But, and this is a huge but, we have to remember one vital rule. Context matters. Music and sound aren't just physical sound waves. They carry deeply personal meaning. Music therapy research consistently reminds us that a song that deeply comforts one person might literally drive someone else crazy. A light tapping sound that relaxes you at night might be incredibly irritating when you're trying to focus at work. Your biological response depends entirely on your own personal preferences, your current stress level, and your unique sensory sensitivities.
So the crucial point is that we need to pivot away from chasing these unmeasurable internet claims. The best question to ask yourself isn't which sound releases serotonin. The much better, way more practical question is which sound reliably changes my physical state in a helpful direction. Instead of worrying about invisible neurotransmitters, evaluate your actual observable state. Next time you finish an ASMR session or listen to a playlist, just check in with yourself. Ask, am I calmer? Do I feel a little less lonely? Is the tension in my shoulders gone? Am I more ready to sleep? Am I feeling more emotionally steady? These are real-world, tangible outcomes that are incredibly useful and entirely within your power to track. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. Your personal sound menu, building safe mood support. Okay, so let's make this highly actionable. Let's build a practical guide for your own sound menu. If you're feeling low energy, maybe choose some gentle, uplifting music or some warm, soft-spoken ASMR that isn't too sleepy. If you're feeling anxious, you want to signal safety to your nervous system, so try slow, predictable sounds or steady nature textures. Feeling lonely? Personal attention ASMR or a comforting human voice can be a real game changer. And for bedtime, stick to familiar triggers with very low novelty. You don't want your brain staying awake trying to process brand new information. Now, quick caveat here. While sound is a remarkably powerful tool, it's not a biochemical prescription, and it should absolutely never replace professional medical care for mood disorders like depression or anxiety.
So, to summarize the core philosophy of this entire explainer, the chemistry follows the state. There is no magical, universal serotonin switch that works for every single human being. Don't try to force a chemical reaction by enduring some healing frequency that you actually find annoying. It just doesn't work that way. Instead, use sound to create the conditions of safety, predictability, and comfort.
Sound is an absolutely profound tool. It can shift your attention, it can melt away body tension, and it can help you actively practice calm. And since your nervous system is deeply, wonderfully unique to you, I want to leave you with this question to explore. What specific sound changes your mood the fastest, and how can you intentionally add it to your personal sound menu today? Get out there, start experimenting safely, and most importantly, just listen to what your own body tells you.